It was the most virulent, deadly viral outbreak the world had ever seen. When the affliction began to finally relent, 2/3 of the planet's population, 4.2 billion people, were gone. For those left after, the new epidemic was one of moral degradation, survival by any and all means, a pandemic of the inhumane. But small patches of hope sprouted from the fallow ashes of what once was. And for some, our humanity remained the only thing worth fighting for.
Hey, Cohen. Good to see you again. Wheeler, how you been?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. How are you guys holding up?
Well, as good as can be expected. I'm really sorry to drag you guys all the way out here, but we just can't deal with this on our own.
Yeah, it's a good thing you brought so many people with you. You're gonna need them. These guys are really well organized.
Any changes since we spoke this morning?
Not that we're aware of.
And you weren't able to negotiate with them?
Every time we try communication, they respond with bullets.
They've killed 3 of my people so far, and they almost...
Come on in the house. I'll get you boys up to speed.
Everyone stick close to the truck. We'll be moving out soon.
They must have been staying on the outskirts. My guess is they were scouting us out, you know. One of my patrols ran across them one evening and ran them off pretty quickly. Then things began to escalate.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, the irony wasn't lost on me either.
The difference is that I tried to negotiate before I was forced to sneak around Sandy. These guys don't seem to care about trying to get along.
I didn't want to repeat my mistakes, so I ordered my people to try and make contact. I figured we could powwow with them and find some sort of beneficial resolution, you know? Well, about 3 weeks ago, Violet and some others found a small group of them in town. They opened fire on my people right away. Violet, she nearly bought it that day.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine, but after that, she chose to leave Sandy. Felt it wasn't worth... And she wasn't the only one either.
I can understand that.
Not now, buddy.
When she said she wanted to come down here, I didn't even try to argue.
They've acclimated pretty well to our little community, and we're happy to have them.
Things got worse from there. It came to a head last week. A group of them came down to the Fred Meyer store, and we got into a sort of standoff. Fortunately, Packard was up there, and we managed to fight them off, but not before 3 of my people were killed.
We just happened to be coming up with some fresh food and a few other things and happened upon the battle. My guess is they thought we were reinforcements and they took off.
So why didn't you mention you were having trouble with these guys the last time we were up this way?
I didn't want to trouble you. It was our problem, and I was sure we could handle it.
Hey, if we don't help each other out, then we may as well start digging our own graves, you know?
Any idea where they might have set up camp?
Somewhere near Bull Run, so far as we can tell. There's a few farms up there that they could have taken over, and there's a lot of back roads and trails that they could get them in and out of Sandy without being seen.
I wish we had some more information,
It may take some time to find them. That's a lot of area to have to comb through, and the longer it takes, the bigger chance they'll know we're coming.
Well, we better get moving.
Yeah, give us a few minutes to get some folks together.
Actually, I think it'd be better if we handle this. No need for any more of your people to get hurt.
Are you sure? I mean, we know the territory.
I'm sure. I was trained for this sort of thing. This is what I do best.
Don't worry, guys. We'll be back in no time.
Let us know if you need anything from us.
We'll check back in after we get them.
Okay, was it just me, or did he seem colder?
Yeah, it wasn't just you. Apparently he hasn't been dealing with Fox's death very well. Last time they were up this way, Wheeler said he thinks Cohen is refusing to deal with his grief, and it's starting to eat him up inside.
That explains why he seems so distant. Even so, it's weird he refused our help. Hope it doesn't come back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get through it. Like he said, it's what he's trained to do. Are you planning on heading back?
Yeah, I'm gonna check in with Vi and then...
You know, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. This whole situation has me thinking a lot about our future and how we're moving forward, you know? I wonder what you might say to bringing our camps together. Bring the rest of your people down this way. We've got the room, and with everyone working together.
I appreciate the offer, Packard, but I don't want to abandon...
You won't be abandoning anything. You can take some time and haul all the good supplies down here and set up a much more secure camp. We'd be stronger together. And let's be honest, we can't keep relying on Cohen and the folks at Homestead to keep our bacon safe. We need to be able to stand on our own.
I can appreciate what you're saying, Pack. I really can, but... Well, let me think about it. All right?
Hey, no rush. I just needed to make the offer.
Hey there, Vi.
Clint, I didn't know you were coming down. I've missed you. How have you been?
I'm good. You're looking better, but how are you feeling?
Better. It still hurts, but I'm healing okay. What are you doing here anyway?
We got Cohen and some of his people from Homestead to come help us with that hillbilly militia. I came down to help brief them on what's been happening. They left a little bit ago to take care of it, and hopefully we won't have to worry about those animals much longer.
Well, that'd be a load off your mind. I've been worried about you. How's Grady and Jules and all the others?
Good. Everyone's good. They miss you.
I miss them too. You've got that look, like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. What's going on?
Have you talked to Packard lately? I mean, I'm sure you have, but has he mentioned anything to you about...
Bringing everyone down here? Yeah, we've talked a lot about it, actually. He's been picking my brain about how to make it work the best.
Then you must have some thoughts about it.
And you want to know what I think? Well, that's different.
I've been realizing that my way hasn't been working all that well lately. And if I want to keep people alive and healthy and prosperous, I've got to rethink how I do things. And that includes listening to other people. And there aren't as many as trust as much as I do.
See, I always knew you weren't a complete idiot.
Oh, very funny.
You know, I honestly never understood why you were so adamant about keeping Packard and his people out. But I supported you because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. But since I've been down here and talked with him and worked with his people, Clint, I think it's a good idea. You and Packard are good men. You're both smart and want the best for everyone. But since I've been down here and talked with him and worked with his people, Clint, I think it's a good idea. You and Packard are good men. You're both smart and want the best for everyone. If the two of you work together, this place could be incredibly prosperous for all of us. I don't think there's anything we couldn't do together. Maybe this is our last chance to build our own little community like those guys at Homestead.
Maybe. I gotta think about it some more.
I know you do. And I know you'll make the right decision, no matter what. That's why I love you.
What? You...
Sorry. I didn't mean to blurt that out. I'm just gonna go this way. I'll see you later.
Yeah, you will.
Clint? I thought you'd be back in Sandy by now.
Yeah, I meant to be, but I've been thinking about your proposition.
Really? Well, that's good news, I guess.
Would I be correct in assuming you already have some kind of plan for our two tribes coming together?
Yeah, that would be a very safe assumption. Why don't you take a walk with me? I'd like to get your input on a few things.
I've got nothing better to do at the moment.
Come on. You know, we've got a good amount of farming land already, and we're looking at a decent harvest. Enough to feed us quite well for the next year, while the next year's crops grow. You also know we've rounded up a fair amount of cattle as well, but we can't take care of them and the crops as well as we'd like to because we're stretched pretty thin. And on top of that, after a hard day's work, everyone's too tired to keep a decent perimeter patrol. So we're at risk for anyone who wants to come and take what they like.
But if we combine our forces...
We could double our farm productivity and set up a much better border that we could defend. Take a look at that.
When did you set up a watchtower?
About 2 weeks ago. Phil and Frank got a bit drunk and thought it was a good idea, which it was. Then they thought it was a good idea to build it. Now, you can't pay me enough to get up on that thing. The concept is good. And I thought if, we could make a few of these and set them up around our borders and equip them with some short-range radios.
You've got an early warning system. Good idea. You might even put up some deer blinds in the trees in some of the more wooded areas, and you add regular patrols.
Yeah, exactly. We could have a very secure farm here, putting out enough food to feed everyone with enough land left over for trade with other communities. Now, with your people here as well, we could probably triple the amount of farmland, which would easily triple our crops. And that's going to give us something to barter with folks like Homestead. And then they can put us in touch with other communities on the west side of the Willamette.
What about housing? Would there be enough for all our people?
Those tiny cabins don't take up too much material, and they don't take up too much room either.
Some of my people may not want to leave.
And some of my people still don't trust you and your people. Look, it's never going to be perfect. It would be naive of us to think it will be. But we can make it work. You and I, we have come a long way, and if we're willing to work together, I know that everyone will come along eventually.
Okay. So what's our first move?
Well, we have lunch.
I want a full inventory of everything we have at the station and a full census of our people. We'll figure out the rest after I get back. I'll see you soon, Grady. Over and out.
He didn't sound too happy.
Grady's a good man. Don't let his grumbling disposition fool you. Once he's down here and sees what we all want to do, he'll be in full support.
Good. Look, so we have plenty of room for your people in our barns until we get those cabins built. They should only be in there a couple of weeks. I sent some of my folks out to the lumber yard already to begin gathering materials, and I got Phillips and his crew setting up plots.
Hey, Packard. Keenan Dietrich asked if I could... Clint? You're still here.
He's a permanent resident now.
Really?
Packard made some really good arguments for our communities to merge. I may be a stubborn idiot, but even I know when something makes sense. This will be good for everyone.
Oh, this is great. I'm so happy.
Good, because I was hoping we could talk a little more about what you said earlier. I kind of feel the same about you, and I don't like the thought of being away from you, so,
Oh. Yeah, well, good.
Okay, I'm just going to step out now because I suddenly feel like I'm intruding.
Hey, Packard, we need you out here now. The Homesteaders are back and it doesn't look good. They got wounded.
Get Francis and Myrtle over here now!
Oh, come on, Vi. We might need you.
Myrtle says everybody should be okay, but wants to wait a bit longer before he releases them.
Whatever.
What happened out there?
Those damn cowards almost got us all killed. Couple of close calls. And they want to go running? If they'd just done like I said, we would have managed to shut these boneheads down easy.
Okay, I'm a little confused. What exactly happened?
Yeah. Did you manage to stop those gorillas?
Buddy, I think you need to take a walk and cool off.
I told you I'm fine!
Yeah, I know! Buddy, I'm on your side here, remember? Now I'm asking you to step outside, take a walk, and cool down, all right? Nothing's gonna get done with you running around like an angry bull, okay?
Fine. Whatever.
What the hell happened out there?
I'm not entirely sure. We got up to Bull Run and started scoping the area. You were right. They were holed up there, and they knew we were coming. I'm not sure how, but I think they had guards all the way down in Sandy who radioed up to the main group. Anyway, we got close and spread out to look for them, and Cohen saw signs that led us to the herb farm facility. We started up that way, and that's when they started firing on us.
I told you that's where they were.
So what happened then?
Well, Tyler took a hit and went down. That sort of spooked the others. They started to run away, and that set Cohen off. He was screaming at him to get back and help. We were in a bad spot. But we could have shifted our position for a better angle and taken out their guards, but our people weren't interested in attacking after Todd and Gibson took hits. Cohen had no choice but to get the wounded back to the truck. We had to retreat even further after that. We got down the road a bit, and Cohen pulled over and started shouting at everyone about abandoning their position and all that crap. And that's when things got worse.
The hillbillies followed?
Yeah, but not yet. No. This guy Matthews got in Cohen's face and screamed at him about the fact that none of us were soldiers. And they didn't sign up for any of the Special Forces BS. Cohen had about all he could take and punched the guy right in the face. Broke his nose and a few teeth. It took me and 3 other guys to pull him off, and that's about when our new friends caught up to us.
My God.
Cohen wants to go back up under cover of nightfall and try again, but I'm pretty sure none of our people are going to be willing to come.
I think we could round up some bodies. We need to deal with this now before we make the merge.
Merge?
We're taking your suggestions and merging our clans.
I thought it was your idea.
No. Wheeler suggested it to me a while ago, and I've been mulling it over and working out the details. It wasn't until the mountain militia started harassing you that I really considered it a possibility. I didn't bring it up when he first suggested it because we were still on shaky grounds then.
That makes sense.
I wish we had more time. I'd love to hear what you guys have in mind for this place.
We solved this problem, and I'll be happy to tell you all about it over a few cold ones.
Let me call up to Sandy, and we could get a crew ready. We could pick them up along the way.
Good idea. I'm going to go find Phil and Frank. I'm willing to bet everything I own that those 2 boys can whip up some interesting incendiary devices.
Sounds good. I'm going to go collect Cohen and try to get him refocused. We'll meet back here in 15 minutes and hash out a plan of attack.
Well, that was an adventure. I'm still having trouble wrapping my mind around it all.
Any ideas where they got all that hardware?
No. Fox and I cleaned out Withicum as best we could, and then we hit both the National Guard and the Air National Guard bases by the airport. There aren't any other bases close by that might have had that kind of equipment. McMinnville is the closest I can think of.
Then maybe we should make a trip out there and see what's left, if anything. We don't want stuff like that getting into the wrong hands if it hasn't already.
It's a good idea, and thanks for letting us keep some of that stuff.
Well, I'm more than thankful for the materials. You weren't kidding about the amount of stuff they'd taken, Clint.
I'm just happy none of it got damaged during the fight. What the hell was that stuff the brothers were throwing?
I'm not really sure. And to be honest, if they weren't such typical rednecks, I think I'd be a little more worried about the kind of cocktails they're making in that brewery of theirs.
Reminds me of Casey. Cool, but really scary sometimes.
Should have brought her on this trip. She wouldn't have tucked tail and ran.
Look, I don't want to overstep here, Cohen, but they might have had the right idea. I think the only reason we were able to take them out this time was because you guys had failed earlier in the day and they weren't expecting retaliation so soon.
Packard's right. I mean, hindsight and all that, but it probably would have been better to let us come with you to begin with. We know the territory better, and we wouldn't have taken the direct route.
You didn't give us a lot to go on.
We did warn you that we didn't know exactly where they were or how strong they were.
You're right. We underestimated them. We were overconfident, that's all.
And we've gotten soft.
No, I'm sure that's not the case.
I think it's time we started heading back.
Good idea.
The sooner we get back, the sooner we can start cutting the dead weight.
What do you mean by that?
Don't worry. It's not your problem. Come on, Wheeler. Let's load up the wounded.
That man's carrying way too much baggage.
I agree.
Promise me that if I ever start acting like that, you'll pop me a good one and set me straight.
Only if you promise not to hit me back. Yeah, I think they're dealing with a lot more in that city than they let on. The rumors we've been hearing are true. They're on the verge of war. They may need a place to fall back to if things go bad for them.
Then we better get started on making this place more welcoming and secure for when that happens.
I like the way you think.
Homestead, Episode 4, Come Together. Written, directed, and produced by James Robinson. Story by James Robinson, Travis Box, and Danny Hedham. Music by Me. Starring David Mort as Packard, Corey Weimer as Clint, Chelsea Reel as Violet, Danny Hedham as Wheeler, and Travis Box as Cohen. We'd like to give a special thanks to David Mort. Homestead is a Not Another Podcast production.